I'm Jay,
I'm Renee.
and welcome to I Was Here. And this is our podcast, and we will be talking about life in Jamaica as young professionals. We'll be talking about work, health, lifestyle, religion, relationships, and so much more. We'll be tapping in on whatever is happening.
Definitely. And we're going to kick things off this week with our In the Know segment. This is basically where we talk about what has happened the past week that probably got our brains
Yes,
or
all
our
the hot
emotions.
topics.
Yeah,
Yep.
our emotions riled up. And we're going to start things off with the biggest thing, the kickoff to World War III. Not necessarily a huge impact on us as Jamaicans, but
As yet,
true, true. But there was something that really hurt me to my core this week. And it was the fact that we had a lot of Jamaican students that were stranded in the Ukraine at the start of all of this. Now, at this time, by with us recording and everything, I think most of them would have made it out by now.
I think they're somewhere at the border.
Right. But I want to use this opportunity to say directly to the politicians, specifically the government, at the moment, you're horrible. You're whack and you're trash. Okay? Um, because I cannot understand for the life of me. Here's the thing, right? We're being told that the students were offered loans to come back home. Now, we knew that things were probably going to escalate to this point for a while now because Russia has been kind of,
Poking the bear.
definitely. So we knew it was going to get to the point of fire being exchanged and stuff. And there allegedly were talks with the students for a while now, and I say allegedly because a lot of news sources have reported that students have communicated to them that they never received any word from the consulate over there. They never received any word from the government, which is contrary to the reports that the government have been planting and saying that, hey, we've reached out to the students and they've essentially rebuffed our help. The help that they offered was loans.
And there's also information put out there by the politicians as well, saying that they had actually reached out months before and they have been talking to a lot of the embassies, in regards to helping the students. So as we say, we have to say allegedly because we don't know what is true at this point. It's social media. Everybody can put up an email. Everybody can say something. I don't feel as strongly as Renee, and I hope that's okay with everybody. Because for me, whether you offer me a loan, whether you send a bus, whether you send a bird, I hear Russia, I hear Putin, and I hear my life, I am coming home. But I understand in case of helping, your citizens in other country that it was whack to offer them loans. I get that because we're still paying real. So,
we have to go pay for Kate and
yeah.
William come.
Right. So maybe we could take Real's money and send a plane for them, but it was whack. It was whack. And
Yeah.
It was horrible. It was a horrible way to deal with the situation.
Definitely.
Horrible
thing
way.
is, because when I read the story, immediately I was like, okay, then the most that they would offer to them is a plane ride home.
Yes.
I haven't seen any articles published where they actually spoke about the amount that they offered for the loans. But I looked at it and I'm saying, if it's for a plane ride, at the time out of Kiev, I think the airfare to Jamaica was like $700 and we had 42 students there. Now, we have to take into consideration that maybe not all of the students needed help from the government to leave the country or to come back home. And by leave the country, I mean Ukraine. Maybe not all of them would have accepted the help either. Maybe all of them didn't even want to leave. Maybe they had options to go to other countries.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like why not put them, just like what them doing now with the trains, move them from to the border. Them could do that. I don't know. I think we don't know a lot of things too. I think we don't know a lot of things too because as I said, a lot of other things coming out now with people saying they never want to leave them cats and some people saying that there was also an article that published a student saying that if Jamaica was not offering him the same kind of education, he was not going to come back. So there are a lot of underlying things. And we're Jamaicans, we're stubborn. Stubborn bad. And I come now if this in a Ukraine, them give me this. There was a lot of that, and
like,
med students rough to deal with. Like
I mean,
the privilege and the med.
Yeah, but I mean,
that's another thing. But
for me, this is what it is. And another thing was that a part of the article said that it is customary, like it's standard. If you're in an area and it's your government trying to get you back home, it's a loan that is offered, right? My thing is, it's 42 students who, like I said,
why loan?
Who exactly a little bit of people
it. But you know, them man said COVID and we don't have any money and blah blah blah. But as I said, we could have taken real money give them still.
Yeah.
That's that. It's sad. Again, we say it's sad. I don't feel strongly about it because for me, when I come on my yard and then we are going to come up Palmyra feel loan, me even think the government know Palmyra there. So, some would have take a loan come on my yard because my grandmother would have dead. My grandmother would have dead. So me I think about other people. And a lot of them were only thinking about what they could have gotten out of it. And to me that went just weird. So what me gonna get if me come back home? What wanna go offer me is the same rate where Ukraine offer me. Even if you did stay there, a place I go bomb up, school go move online anyways, everything, there would have to be some kind of shift. So think about that too. Think about the right things. That me I say. Think about the right things. Not think about the fact that you want free flight. Think about the right things. Think about the fact that the government should be able to pay for you to come home. I don't think but the government should have somehow can put you in one school somewhere else. Or, you know,
I understand that.
Yeah, me think that.
But I think for a lot of Jamaicans, especially the persons like myself, who are extremely disappointed in the current government, because it's like it's $700 per ticket. That works out to under $30,000 US.
I agree.
You understand me? And you know what the worst thing about it is? Mark Golding, hats off to you. They did some type of fundraiser
politics.
It's politics. You understand me? But that's how you do politics.
Sir, we see you.
Because the JLP had the perfect opportunity to get public support. We see what you guys have been doing the last couple of months. You understand me? The bag of stories them where come out with politicians not necessarily facing the same consequences as regular people when they break the same rules, all of that. This was the perfect opportunity for the JLP government to rally
to get on our good
and
side.
get, you understand me? And they wasted it.
I get it.
And then worse, after Mark raised a bit of money,
then we see that them did raise money. Like, but then you see them not have a good PR team because right now when I use that and spin it and say we are not the government that shows what we're doing in terms of showing off to the public. You know, something for spinning.
They don't.
Nothing.
But here's the thing, you know, and this is the last thing that I'm going to say about it. I'm glad that the students are getting the help to get out of the situation.
One of the two stubborn.
Absolutely. I want to say the government should use this as a learning moment, but they won't because they're reactive. That's all. That's all they know how to do. React. They'll never be proactive about anything, and that is why the country's in the state that it is in. And that brings us to
and our prayers and our thoughts are with
definitely
Ukraine. It's a horrible situation there, and I cannot even imagine because me not even hear gunshot. Country me live, me not hear gunshot, so me couldn't even imagine bombs and helicopters flying over my head and missiles and tankers. I couldn't even imagine it. So our thoughts are with them and Putin just got here, like me not.
Putin not try to take back him here. That's what he's trying to do.
It's a toxic ex. Putin is like a toxic ex.
I think for with that whole situation, there's so many nuances towards it, right? Yeah. Because it's like, okay, the Ukrainian government, they were being courted by NATO to get on board and, you know, sign with them. Bear in mind that majority of the countries that border Russia already are a part of NATO.
Yeah.
You understand? And so from a defense perspective, as any country would, I mean, if this was the United States and Russia was looking to set up shop in Mexico,
Probably.
it probably would be the
That
same
is true.
thing.
Which is why I saw a comment yesterday, and the person said, "Why is it okay that when America is invading everywhere else, it's okay, and Russia is here because Putin is using the disguise as saying that he's some kind of hero right now, but." Even if Putin is doing the right thing, his approach is wrong, so the world not gonna side with him. When America do it, America pretty it up.
To an extent, but here's the thing: Putin has and will always be the villain.
Yeah.
That's his character. Ever since he came into power, that's his storyline. So as you said, and bear in mind, we are not in support of whatever is happening. We're just looking at the situation objectively. You understand me? No, my thing is, I think another part of the conversation that a lot of people refuse to talk about is the fact that for NATO, they shouldn't have even been that close to Russia in the first place with the countries that they signed with, because the treaty that essentially broke up the Soviet Union had a specific caveat in it that said, they weren't supposed to move to the east or something like that. Yeah, and then, to the east of Germany. So you're not supposed to set up NATO to the east of Germany. Mm-hmm. But as the years went on, we found that NATO kept expanding into that area. Mm-hmm. So essentially, somebody looking on, let's remove who Putin is and what he stands for, and let's just think of it like, okay, if you signed a contract and the contract said don't do this, but you go ahead and you do it, essentially that contract is null and void.
Right.
So we're not saying that Putin has the right to be doing what he's doing, or killing off the people around. So that it's wrong. It's inherently wrong. But at the same time, you can almost see.
He's owed a pound of flesh.
Yes. Yeah. Him I call him pound of flesh. Yeah. Y'all broke the treaty, so this is what I'm doing now. Right. Yeah. So I mean, it's sad, and we obviously don't ever want war, because this isn't just regular war we're talking about. This has the implications of nuclear war and
potential world war.
Nobody survives that.
Nobody.
Like once you bring
nobody benefits.
Once you bring nuclear weapons into it, it's annihilation.
And the elephant in the room is China, and China is stressing me out because China is not being clear.
Remember, see enough things them have out here. I feel like that's one of the reasons. I feel like that's one of the reasons that why the government not to say nothing.
Them not be clear either. China, they make some vague statements. They not be clear. They might make me nervous.
They won't, because here's the thing: the China debacle now. China is looking on to see how the world reacts or how the world behaves with Russia taking Ukraine, and that is possibly going to influence how they deal with Taiwan.
China has the largest man army in the world. China can't end this. So is either China end this by joining them or against them. I don't know. And then China, they make me nervous. So which side of the one? Yes, China. So which side of the one, so me can know how they feel.
And they're not going to. At this moment, it benefits China to just stay neutral.
Yeah.
It's really not their war, and like I said, I really feel as though depending on what happens with Ukraine or Russia, this may very well influence what they do with Taiwan, because it's kind of like a similar situation. You were once a part of the country, you're no longer a part of the country, we want you back. At the very basic level of it.
I read an article the other day from the Washington Post how similar this is when Hitler took over the Czech Republic. So if you people want to go and check that article out, it's very informative. You can check out the Washington Post. It was very informative, and I was like, But at the end of it all, none of them no bad like Hitler.
But you know what? And just to wrap up this part, to just wrap up this part, that's the thing that gets me the most about this. Like, I get that Ukraine isn't a part of the EU or they're not a part of NATO, and therefore technically they're not entitled to certain protections. They're not entitled to certain things. But if we look at the history of these huge wars that have broken out in Europe, it's a thing of this one country going into this smaller country and doing whatever them want to do, and nobody did anything physically. They just leave it.
I think
at
NATO
home.
activated their army though. I think
they did,
somewhere.
but it's still it's the territories surrounding them. It's not
the British air fighter.
No, America somebody step in, because
that's what I'm saying.
gas are gonna raise, oil are gonna raise, everything. So somebody needs to step in.
And you know what? I'm going to be the optimist in this situation with all of these, with inflation going up further, everything raising, gas prices, food prices, and all of that. I'm going to be a skinny bitch in summer because I can't afford to do
Me
nothing.
go be one hungry one
A
because
skinny hungry, yeah. We can't afford to run away. We can't afford to run away. Can't afford to eat
already
nothing.
can't afford
May I
gas.
try to find the positives.
So, yeah. So let's see what happens in a couple of weeks. Let's see if he's going to negotiate.
Hopefully they bring an end to this soon. We really, the world doesn't need this war. But can I tell you another arm of this? Is, are we this up in arms because it's Russia, it's Europe?
Would we be would
because
we
there
care
war
if it America?
Not even that, but there are wars literally going on in the Middle East,
never
in
stop.
Africa.
Right? Like Middle East just never stop. From Bible days, I can tell you that since me the church girl. From Bible days, Middle East a war. It started with two brothers.
And it's constantly, it's a fire that has been burning forever. So is it a case where because we know that fire is there and that fire is burning, we don't think twice about it, we just know that it's there? But because there's a new fire going on now,
that is exactly it. So because
okay.
when this blow over, the new something come, we're gone again. It's sunny.
Bad. Well, let's move on to the next thing. The next thing, and this one I feel personal about. I feel very personal about it, and this is one of the reasons why we even decided that as young professionals,
we're going to have this platform.
Yes, because we both worked in the BPO industry.
Yes, since I was 19.
Wow, girl, I did not know that.
Yes, I've been working since I was 19. I'm a very hard worker. I am a very hard worker, which is why I don't want nobody coming on my life come stress me out. But that's another topic.
Okay.
That sounds well. No, sir. We're going to call him. We're going to call him.
Want to hear that? But yeah, so the Jamaica Observer, there was an article, I think it was the 22nd, and in the article essentially a lot of BPO workers were speaking anonymously.
Renee, let us not assume that everybody knows what we're talking about. Call center.
Yes, call center. So, what? I don't want to call any names.
No,
we don't want to call any names.
We just a start.
But we're talking about call centers, contact centers, the BPO industry. And BPO is business process outsourcing. So essentially, you move some of your operations to somewhere else, maybe because it is cheaper labor, which is why they're here.
Why they move it.
As much as we have really good stats in terms of like education, in terms of the level of service in the industry, we are still paid 40 to 60% less than the money that they would be paying in their own countries. And I am not just saying this
or
for
what
saying
they're actually paying, because some of them still have companies headquarters set up in their own countries. They get the actual pay that they would have gotten if we weren't getting the reduction. So some of them are getting that pay, and
those
we are getting the reduced rates.
The reduced rates, the reduction, we're actually marketed as that. If you want to, and I would definitely implore you to, you can go on the gsaj.org site, and the GSAJ is the Global Services Association of Jamaica. So this is essentially the body that governs the BPO industry in Jamaica. They literally, on top of saying that, we're the largest English-speaking Caribbean, and Caribbean island, and we're bright, and we have, a bag of
hardworking.
Tell them the things on top of all of that, and we have great security for the various systems that they probably would want to bring here. On top of all of those things, they advertise us at a 40 to 60% reduction rate. I don't even.
It's legit indentured worker legit indentured workers.
So, anyways, the Observer, who, I mean, is there anything to say about the Observer?
Maybe
You guys know I'm a news junkie, and sometimes I shake my head.
Yeah.
Journalism, rest in peace to Ian Bowen and all of them people. Journalism now
Yeah.
dead. So it's the Observer for me now has gotten, a bit iffy. Sometimes I wonder, are they still credible and stuff like that, but me read them same. I read them.
Okay.
I'm a news junkie. I read them, but
I can agree with that.
this article was whack.
It was?
Was whack. Yeah. Well, some parts of it.
Mm-hmm.
Some parts of it was whack.
So essentially, the article was saying that, these workers are bringing to light the working conditions in the BPO industry, and it's, affecting their mental health, the type of work that they have to be doing or the hours that they have to be working. They're feeling overwhelmed and drained.
The type of pay they're getting.
If they get
If they get paid.
The violations of the labor laws, like not being paid for sick days or stuff like that.
Vacation.
And I just want to say that whoever did this article, kudos to you. I 100% think that it is something that needs to be spoken about a lot more, because the BPO industry in Jamaica has only been growing, and it's only going to continue to grow. The BPO industry right now is probably like what the hotel industry was a few decades ago. It's bright, it's shiny, it's offering a lot of opportunities.
How many persons are currently employed? 500?
I think it's like 50,000.
50,000. Some.
Yeah.
A lot of persons are.
Yeah.
Especially here in
Montego
Bay. We are the BPO.
Capital.
Because there are BPOs in Portmore. I know of a BPO in Portmore. I don't know. Is there any in Kingston?
Yeah, man.
Okay,
they're everywhere. Kingston, Ochi, Mandeville. They're all over the island.
So.
And my thing is, here's the thing. We know that the BPO industry, it's led to the creation of a lot of jobs. It's led to the strengthening of various infrastructure stuff. We get it. We appreciate it. We're not saying that the industry should pack up and leave. What we're saying is that the industry needs a lot of oversight, because there are a lot of things that are happening there that are affecting young professionals. And for the most part, like we said, we can speak from experience. She's been working, or she worked since she was 19. I think I have probably like 6 or 7 years BPO industry experience under my belt. And I can speak from first-hand experience that the article, the people that they quoted in the article, they're not wrong. As much as, it may not be people that I'm sure for people that who you work with, if you're a member or if you are an employee of the BPO industry, they will tell you the exact same things.
I've worked at 4 different BPOs.
And you've seen the same thing right across the board.
It has actually been a case where every time I go somewhere else, it's worse.
It's worse.
That's sad.
Yeah.
That's very sad.
Yeah.
Yes, but as Renee said before, we're not knocking BPOs to the point where there's no good. I sent myself to school through BPOs. BPO gave me experience. So it was the first place I've ever worked. So I've met a lot of people in BPO. So you grow.
This relationship stemmed from that.
BPO,
there are a lot of people.
We're not saying that everything bad and is the worst. We're just saying that there are conditions that need to be worked on, especially your mental health. I cannot do a phone job because of BPO. I cannot do any kind of phone job right now. If me see a phone job, me probably get anxious to the point where me faint. It is so stressful to be on the phones, and a lot of persons now are running away from the phones because of that. You will literally have a breakdown. Me see people break down at work because of the phone job. So a lot of people now are doing emails, which is a little bit less stressful because there's nobody shouting in your ears.
But still, I think when it comes on to the working conditions, a lot of the violations that you see, it's because the people that they're hiring for these managerial positions and stuff like that, they aren't which word do I use? They aren't necessarily educated on the labor laws of the country. They aren't necessarily emotionally intelligent. They aren't necessarily
empathetic.
Yes, they aren't necessarily trained on how to be a manager, how to be a supervisor. And so what you find are most of these people get placed in the positions because of likes, because of possibly tenure, and they do not necessarily know how to communicate effectively with the people that are lower level staff. And what you find happening is that disconnect causes them to not necessarily see the problems that the lower level staff is having. And I can speak on that personally because I was a supervisor for a few years. And when I just got the job, it's almost like this cult. It really is. Like when I just got the job, I can tell you, I was almost like the watchdog for a lot of things that was happening. And as I got more seasoned in the position, I realized, wait, hold on.
This is not you.
This not make no sense. This not right. And the moment you begin to speak out about these things, you become a target.
Yes,
and
I
can totally understand why these people spoke on under the conditions of anonymity, because it's like, as much as I want to attach my face or to attach my voice to this issue, I know that I could possibly lose my job.
You look at work with
and the worst part about it is they will fire you, and then a lot of people don't know the recourse. A lot of people don't know that you have industrialists, which are like, you know, people who studied industrial labor laws and stuff like that, who can help you out. I personally had to use one for a work situation that I had. A lot of people don't know the avenues when you get fired from these places. They just pack up their bags and they just move on to another call center. And I think that the Observer has started something. I think that they can go a lot further. They can go a lot deeper.
Provide
and
information
really,
on how people can get help.
Really bring about some serious change in the industry. Because once again, we do not want the BPO industry to leave Jamaica. We understand that it is, yes, we understand that it's creating a lot of jobs. It's creating a lot of avenues for people to get out of certain situations. We just want the working conditions to be better. Now, something that really grinded my gears was the follow-up article where the president of the GSAJ said that, you know, basically the Observer didn't do their due diligence in the article. And let me quote her.
So it wasn't balanced.
Let me quote her. She said that the industry, let me read what the article says. President of Global Services Association of Jamaica, Gloria Henry, argued that with Jamaica operating within a globally competitive industry, the negative, generalized, and sensationalized news can hinder the country's economic development. Ma'am, what about the actual facts of the situation?
It's giving, shut up, don't talk about what happened in our house outside and let people know what going on in the family.
Yeah.
Which may hate.
Yeah. You hit it right on the head.
That's what it's giving.
Because, first of all, the mere fact that in the first article, the Observer spoke with Yanni Epstein, who is CEO of, ITEL BPO, and also a member. He's also on the board of the same... He's also on the board of the very same committee that she heads. So, ma'am, they did do their due diligence.
Yeah, them balance the thing.
They did.
Yeah, them
so
balance the thing.
The first article wasn't unfair. The first article, I think, was very detailed. And Yanni can speak only for his company that he operates, which is ridiculous because he's on a board that serves all of the BPO companies in the country. But, you know, that's a whole other discussion. So he can speak about the company that he operates. And a lot of people who work with ITEL will tell you that, for the most part, it's better than the others. That doesn't necessarily mean, say, it's operating the way it should be operating.
But with the Observer coming out about this, it's not the first. So that's my concern.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the first. We've been hearing about this. We have social media pages that people, write into all the time with all these ridiculous things. I was pregnant, they never want to give me leave. I'm at work, I told my supervisor that I need to leave, I don't feel well, I lost the baby at work. Like hell. So what? No. So the Observer do this? No. What? No. Where can people go for help? What can these BPO sectors do? Pick me. You need some mental health training. People literally go crazy on the job.
Mm-hmm.
We need a lot of mental health training. People need breaks.
Yeah.
It is so hard. If you have to log bathroom, I don't know how they not make you log go out a door. Forget breathe. I don't know we not log. We used to log breathe. You want to go bathroom? You can only take 2 break. It's slavery. It's giving slavery, and it's impacting people's mental health, and that's where I draw the line.
I think
when you can't rough out certain things, Renee, you can't rough out up here, so your brain, just like how we got doctor for we on our foot.
True.
We have to take care of it. We have to take care of our mind. We'll go mad. And as Jamaicans, we don't pay no mind to it, but the BPO sector, man,
I agree with you.
And the hours to Jesus, the hours.
But you know what they use, and it's so sad because they use the lure of you're getting a steady job, you're gonna have a steady paycheck, you're gonna you're gonna be able to do this, you're gonna be able to move up in the company. They use the lure. Yes, front of you. They use the lure of that. Can I tell you, like when I first started working, it wasn't a BPO company, but my first experience at a call center was with a company wherein I had to work on Sundays. Now, at the time, I was going to church on Sundays religiously going to church on Sundays.
Okay.
And I had to kind of throttle that back a little bit because I had to go to work. And
we all know Adventists get that fight. We get the biggest fight. True. And I'm not being biased. We get the biggest fight. As then you're Adventist. Okay, all right. Thanks for coming.
Yes.
We get the biggest fight.
I've seen that.
BPO, stop it. We get the biggest fight.
I've worked at a company where they literally said,
don't hire the Adventists.
Do not hire them. Do not hire them. And if people are willing to come out and speak candidly, I'm sure a lot of other people will say, they flat outright said, do not hire these people because they can't work on Saturdays. And they don't realize, as much as if you don't believe in church, if you don't believe in God, that's fine. Yeah. All right, hold your corner. But there are people who really use religion to help them to get through. That's their crutch. That's what they use to get through on a daily.
Look at it this way. And I don't remember where I got this information from, but it was somebody I think it was from somebody that went to prison and came back, and he said if his parents had grown him in a way where he believed that there was somebody holding him accountable, he wouldn't go to prison. But he was not raised like that. He ain't raised with things that somebody is watching you. There is better, there is good, there is somewhere you can be if you be a good person. So he went just out in these streets, I don't be a bad. And him said, no, that him big man and him look at it. If his parents went grow him to say, hey, you do good, somebody's watching you. You do good, this is your reward. You do good, this is what will happen. He won't know their prison now.
I can understand.
So that's what we church people have with church. That's something to look forward to say, hey, I'm a good person, this is my reward. So
I don't even think necessarily like even just the whole point of the reward, but there is a certain community in going to church, in religion, period. And let me not just say church. There's a certain community, and you find, I can speak honestly about my experience. Like the church that I used to go to when I was growing up, some of the best people that I've encountered in my life. Like, a lot of the skills, I've seen them teach people how to use instruments. I've seen them help put people through university. That's true. Like,
so it's a whole community, I hope. So
what I found when I started working at said company is that I had to be sacrificing a lot of that, and I made the decision that, hey, I need to be working, I need money, I need to take care of my family, and so people are having to choose between these things that, you know, we've come to know as life, these things that we've come to accept as a part of who we are. People are having to choose between that and having a job and having work. Whereas there are benefits to having the BPO industry in the country, and, you know, it's providing jobs. There are all of these new hubs popping up, like places getting
young
built,
people
all of them.
Because we always say, you know, I go and we used to know what next is
like straight out of high school, you can
straight out of high school.
So there are a lot of benefits to it. Yeah. What we're saying is those benefits shouldn't come at the neglect of other
something
things.
Else.
Like two things can be true and exist at the same time.
Exactly.
The BPO industry, it's very beneficial to the country.
Yeah.
It's providing a lot of jobs. It's improving the infrastructure, but they're also very poor working conditions. It's affecting the mental health of the employees, usually lower level employees.
Yes.
Line staff, they usually get the burr end of the stick. You understand me? And also, there are a lot of improvements that can be made within the industry. It baffled me that this lady had the gall, and like you said, she's just doing what she's supposed to do.
Yeah, that's she's supposed to do.
Right?
That's what she's
but
supposed to
she had the gall to go in the Observer and say what she said. Ma'am, just because you're providing jobs, that doesn't mean that people need to be working in modern day slavery, which is exactly what it is. You're not there on the floor every day. And then I think Yanni also said something about the industry being quantifiable. Speaking from experience, a lot of the times when you'd have focus groups with employees to find out what is happening, what can be improved, they have been buttered up. They have been prepped by managers, by other people to say certain things.
Yes.
So you're not really finding out the truth. You're not getting to the crux of what is happening. You're being presented with an image.
Especially when, Lord, how long time I working at BPO? Where the clients.
Yes.
Especially when clients fly down, you know you're going to get your t-shirt.
That them use.
Your merch.
The pizza day, the KFC day.
KFC.
Yeah.
These are the things.
You get email with underlining things where it's basically to you say shut up.
I remember the last company that I worked with, we were trying desperately to get a pay raise for the agents. Like constantly we would bring it up in meetings. Constantly we would be like, hey, you know, this is what we want. The agents are performing, we can get them to give them more.
Things. Yeah, they do them more.
They give them more. You know what the people them do? Install gaming systems. And
cool.
Sadly, the agents saw that. The agents saw that and they were like, oh, okay, when I really need to pay no more. When I really need to pay no more. And in that moment, I realized it's this thing of using material things to kind of lull you. Yes, to kind of lull you into this false sense of security. So now you start thinking,
well, them did make. We have little children for our work. So you start feel guilty. That doesn't work on me. I want money to buy my Cafe Blue. That wouldn't work on
your Starbucks.
Yes, that wouldn't work on me.
It's a sad situation. I really, like I said, what I was gonna say is if you're working in the BPO industry and you notice a lot of things that shouldn't be happening, reach out to the Ministry of Labor. Send in the complaints them. Rally up, you don't even need nobody because it's your personal experience. It's what you're going through. Write an email, call them. We need to be vociferous about this because the more we talk about it, hopefully something will be done.
Even if in the next 3 years, something will be done. But it cannot be a case where it continues like that. I have been at work and see people just fling down their headset and scream and walk out. It's that terrible. And until you're there, you'll actually understand what we are saying. But I hope to see change, and I hope the Observer does something else. I hope the Observer pushes this and push it, and so it's not swept under the rug for the next big thing to come. And big up all the BPO workers. We know it's hard.
Definitely. You're contributing.
Drink on a special on Fridays.
Or while you're at work.
Yeah. Do whatever you have to do to survive.
But you look a spliff by your break to kind of bring your meds back to. You understand me? Read your Bible.
Yeah. Understand.
if that's what you want to
Yeah.
do. If you are in if you are in the Montego Bay area, I'm going to tell you where the Ministry of Labor building is.
We call it the NIS. That we call it.
That's what. No.
For sure that we call it NIS.
What?
Because sure that them offer, because that's where you go get your NIS card.
Oh.
So we just call it that.
Okay.
You're going to get NIS. That's what we call it.
Okay, I get you.
See?
That's what it is for real.
Yeah, that's what we call it. NIS. But it come back yet? I don't think it come back.
I don't know, babes. But if you are in the Montego Bay area, there's whatever the name where it's Union Street.
Oh, because as I said, I think no, you know, come back. It's still a them still a refurbish and something. You know, come back.
Hold on.
It not come back. You know, me never know where it move.
Okay, hold on. Yes. So it's the Industrial Relations Department of the Ministry of Labor. It's on Union Street. If you go, you can ask to speak with Mr. Nicholson. And if you have any questions, if you think you have a case where you think that you've been treated unfairly,
supervisor know when you go PP,
right?
Your manager give you know the look and if say some little things like you know you're he's not very professional. I don't want to go too deep in what I want to talk about, but anything at all that is inappropriate and you are scared, especially females. You know, I've seen cases where females come work and, you know, little bus thing are going and manager, something is in your blood. Yeah, anything at all. Report it.
And the sad part is your first point of contact should probably be your supervisor or even HR.
Yeah.
Yeah, HR isn't there to serve the lower level staff. HR is there to protect.
Hi, HR at my workplace.
HR is there to protect the interests of the company. So if you, as an agent, you're going and you're constantly reporting about certain behaviors, especially about managers, then they're more likely going to fire you versus the manager. They're going to find everything that they can to fire you versus the manager.
And we know call center of this friend thing.
Yeah. So I know I kept saying the Ministry of Labor, definitely reach out to them. But also the National Workers Union that is in Montego Bay, that's 33 Union Street. Go there, speak to they have quite a few people there. I've worked personally with Mr. Nicholson. I know that he is very versed on the labor laws and he'll provide you with a lot of perspective on what your avenues are, like what you can get done. The aim hopefully is to have a union for BPO workers. I think that would serve them.
Yeah,
I think that would serve them a lot better.
Yeah.
If you have any idea on how this can be done, if you're interested in getting this done, then you can also reach out to us.
Yes.
Because we really, like I said, we really want to see some change in the industry. We don't want it to go anywhere. We want it to stay, but we want it to be better.
And just because we're out don't mean that we don't understand the struggles.
Right.
Fully understand the struggles.
100%. And that's going to bring us to the end of our In the Know segment, right? And we're going to move on to our topic for this week, which is actually about pensions.
Yes.
And this really struck a chord for me because for all the decades that, you know, the hotel industry has been operating in the country, only this year did hotel workers get a pension. That is wild to me. So we're going to be talking to Jade today because she recently she recently decided to take out a pension plan. And it's very important because a lot of, if you're not necessarily a part of the public sector, you then probably don't have
even
that
know
benefit.
about it. Yeah. Or you don't even know because you've never heard about it. Yeah.
So what is a pension plan?
So in layman's term, a pension plan is where you put aside some money to use it when you're retired. And a lot of Jamaicans now have to be working past the age of 60 and 65. I don't know if it was raised, but I know the last time I checked, it was 60 for females and 65 for males. So you don't want to be that person working up until you're 70, 80, which is what you're seeing now with a lot of vendors, a lot of old people selling papers because maybe they didn't have a pension plan. So I went out last month and I took a pension plan, realizing that, hey, I am getting older, and I realized from the conversation I had with the lovely person at Scotia, I have a card, I should have brought it so I could share it with them.
We can put it in post.
Yeah, we can put it in the post. That he said I'm 5 years late. The ideal age to start a pension plan is 25 years old.
Wow.
So I am 5 years late. But nevertheless, I started the plan.
Level, right.
So if you don't work in the government sector per se, you won't really have a pension plan. Not every company offers it. So what's happening is that you're there working, you're not putting money aside, you're living hand to mouth, and then when you get to 65, you have to be depending on children. No, I don't have any. I'm planning on having any.
Or even worse,
So,
they fire you.
yes.
And you.
And that's it. So the pension plan is a good benefit, young people.
Yeah.
I am proud that you can start as low as $3,000. However, the ideal amount is $12,500 a month for you to live a good life after pension.
Okay.
Yes.
So if whoa.
Yes.
So essentially, what is the pension plan? Is it a savings plan? Is it an investment plan? What is it?
It's a little bit of both. So you save and then it's invested and it grows.
So then, if that's the case, can't I just say I'm going to invest my money?
Yes, you can. However, I don't think you'll get the same benefits.
Like what?
Like
What
the
are
pension.
benefits?
So I don't really know the benefits much. What I can do though.
For your plan that you have.
Oh, for my plan.
Yeah.
I can access it before. I think it's 45. I can do an early retirement if I want. So I can access it before. I can save more, so it's not like, let's say you had a fixed account where you were saving X amount of money and you can't get that. If something happens, I can access the money. I can always put more money too. So what he advised me, my advisor, he advised that I start with the 3 now, and then gradually I increase it until I can get to the ideal $12,500 a month for me to live. I think he said 30 million. So for you, a case where you're saving, you're not going to accumulate so much money by the time, especially if you have a job where you don't have the 12.5 to pay. So with that pension, you're paying that little amount, putting aside, and it's getting the investment. When I get to the retirement age, now you'll have enough to use. So that's the difference with it and a regular savings.
Okay. So if I, God forbid, where's the wood in this place? But let's say that you're throwing a pension plan and something happens to you. Can persons, like your spouse or your mother or your father, can someone get that money that you have?
Yes, you will actually, just like an insurance plan.
Oh, you have to sign
people to it.
Okay.
So as I said, young people, it's a good thing to get. It is very important. You don't want to depend on the man for your rest of your life. Especially if you might beat you now, you don't want him to beat you forever.
And reach your soul.
Yeah, because it happen now. So you don't want at 65 you still beat you up and stuff if you're using money. Take out your pension plan. I know we're not talking about insurance, but I cannot stress enough how important insurance is. Take out an insurance plan. Process is easy. I literally just went to Scotia, said to somebody, I want a pension plan. Quick time, papers were printed, I signed it up, and the money was paid. And with the online thing now, and with them just literally taking money from your account, they just sign what the form name like when them take money? Salary deduction. Them just take the money to my account. So I not even remember send me a pay it.
Yeah. And I know that she mentioned the specific bank that she used.
But
however, if you don't necessarily trust a particular bank,
for you
can shop around.
Yes.
It's
and
just
find the best one that you can. Yes. Yeah. Scotia went just nearer for me. So
and I think
it went just nearer. So just got Scotia. The one I'm on is called the Scotia Bridge. You have more like the rich people in the pan. As I say, the ideal amount is 12.5. 12.5 very steep for me. I have school to pay for. But eventually I will get to 12.5.
Okay.
Eventually, because ain't nobody working at 65.
That's good. And the importance of the pension, like she said, is you can live comfortably after retirement, after you stop work.
You don't want to beg your people in my foreign and You know the little stereotype we have as Jamaicans with culture. We stop working, we beg a foreign, we beg a this, we live how
I
we
think
pick
it's
them.
because a lot of people don't know. You know, like how before you used to put
And
money under your
workplaces must
mattress,
stop.
but now you stop put money in the
Workplaces
bank.
must stop, man. Offer pension for people.
I think especially like certain industries that I think once if you're a private sector, once you if you're a part of the private sector, sorry, once you have a certain number of employees, it should just be an automatic thing. You know,
Should
like
be a
how
thing.
you're paying NIS, you're paying education tax.
Should be a
I feel
thing.
like the pension should
Should
definitely be a
thing,
part of
yeah.
it. And the government should definitely push that because it's more money for
They
the
don't
rabble
care. They don't care.
and more money for the thief.
That's true.
So-
Because them tax it. Just never do one mention that part.
There you go. You know, so put that down on the table in a parliament. A lot of these companies should once you pass a certain age, because you have to look at the longevity of the company as
Right.
well, right? So once the company is a certain age, once it has certain operations going on, then it should offer the pension
Yes.
to the workers. And
Definitely agree. Live comfortably. I not even want to work now, much less 65.
Honestly.
60, like,
honestly,
yes.
that brings us to the end of today's episode.
We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did.
Yes, and as you can tell, we love chat, so that means that there are more episodes coming.
More.
Definitely follow us on YouTube, like the video, share the video, subscribe to our channel.
Subscribe to all socials. Leave your feedback. Leave your comments.
Definitely. If you want to be a guest on the show, for sure, we'd love to have you here.
Yes.
If you are, as I said before, an employee of the BPO industry and you feel strongly about some things that we said today, if you don't agree with us, we'd like to have you on our lovely leather couch. so we can have a discussion, because at the end of the day, conversation is really what gets things moving. All right, we're not stones, we're not stuck one place. If you can change your thinking about certain things, we welcome you.
That's nice.
So it's me, I'm out.
Mouth.
We were here.
Bye.